Hi girls, so this video is the start of a new topic called angles that you can see up the top there, and your heading in your book should just be angles. So what I want you to do as you watch this video is to take notes just like you would in class. Right, if I write something on here, it should really be put in your book, and you may want to pause it occasionally to think or to have time to write down things, because I won't pause to give you time to write down things. So you'll just have to pause yourself, okay? So you've almost certainly seen angles in primary school, okay? And I hope that you do. You have. The key thing that I want you to think about is that an angle is a turn, right? So when I draw an angle like this, we pretend those are two straight lines. The angle is not the lines, it's the movement that my pen is tracing when I draw that arrow. I'm going to draw it again. It's this movement here. Okay, it can go in that direction or it can go in that direction. It's still exactly the same, but that is the angle. The angle is the amount of turn that's being created, either up or down, it doesn't matter. All right. And we're able to measure angles as well, and we'll do that in the next lesson. This one here is probably something like 40 degrees. Again, we'll talk about that in tomorrow's lesson, or whenever the next lesson is. So we say that it's a turn created by two line segments. That's what I've drawn here, two line segments. Two rays, or two lines that intersect. Intersect means they meet at a point. Okay, and it looks like that. And we would normally label it like so. Okay, you can use different letters if you like. So I should really tell you what these words mean that I've just said. So a line segment is a straight, I shouldn't use the word line, but I will. Whoops, line with a start and finish, right? So these ones up here that I've drawn before, they're line segments because they start and they end. And often you see people putting dots on the end to indicate that that's a starting point or an ending point, depending on how you look at it. A ray is a straight line. Sorry, I should go back here and I should just draw a little line segment for you, shouldn't I? So just something like this. Whee! Right, from A to B or whatever. So a straight line with beginning but no end. So that's a ray. So that might look something like this. And you will draw an arrow on the end to indicate that it doesn't end. It goes on forever, that's what the arrow means. And a line has no start or finish. Right? We could say it goes forever, goes on forever. Okay, so you should have seen at some point in the past a number line. Right? That's an example of a line, it goes on forever. So we can draw arrows on both ends. We won't always draw arrows on both ends, but you can. Okay, so that should hopefully be stuff you've heard before, and maybe this will as well. But we have some conventions. So convention is an idea that everyone follows who does maths, right? So when we label an angle, or when we name an angle, kind of the same. So here's my angle. I'll draw just something very similar to what I did before. Again, that's the angle there. And I'll do the same labeling that I did before, A, B, C. So we label it, when we label it, we use capitals, always. And when we name it, so in this example, you go around the angle, so like this. Or you could also go like that. But in the first instance, the red one, we label it by doing this. We put a little symbol there that looks like a small angle, and then we write the letters in order that I went around, A, B, C. Okay, so that's one way of labeling. Here's another way, going that way, C, B, A. Those are exactly the same. Doesn't matter if you go forwards or backwards, like I said before. There's one other way, which is if it's obvious the vertex. Now you should know what a vertex is, I hope, but it's where two lines meet. So the vertex, if it's obvious where the angle is, you can just label it like this. Okay, just with the vertex. Now, you will occasionally see people labeling it like this, with the little hats on top instead. I don't like that anywhere near as much. I think the first version that I did is much clearer, and so I want you to always do it that way, please. Okay, so that's how we label. So we label them with capitals, and we name them by listing the letters in order around the angle. So the other thing we have a convention for is a right angle, and I'm sure most of you, if not everyone, knows that a right angle is one with 90 degrees, and importantly, I'm even going to draw straight lines this time, look at me. I'm going to draw a right angle. It's one which is like the corner of a square or a rectangle, okay? And the way that we label them, and I'll do this in purple, is with a little square, like that. Okay, it shouldn't overhang, so I'll try one more time to get it right. One more try. I'll just do that. Okay, so there's my convention. It's this here where we do a little box. Okay, that indicates that it's a right angle, and you remember it because it looks like a right angle. It's a little square. Okay, again, just to practice our labeling, I'll use some different letters. I'll use P, Q, R. I've used all of them in capitals, and so I could say that angle PQR, so going around this way, equals 90 degrees. I could also say, going around the other way, that angle RQP is 90 degrees. Okay, I want you to notice, please, that the vertex of the angle is in the middle. It was up here too, wasn't it? Okay, so it's fairly obvious that they'd be the same. You could also say that angle Q is 90 degrees. All of those things are true. Okay, we also have a way for showing that two angles are equal. So, for example, I could draw that, and they are equal, meaning the opening of the angle is the same, up to down or left to right, it doesn't matter. Okay, and the way that I label them as equal is I draw this little arc in there, and that's normally enough if I don't give a number. But sometimes we do little things like we put a little star there, for example, and we put the same symbol in both of them. Okay. Now that we've done algebra, more common than that is we would put an algebraic symbol in there. And because I've said they're both x, that means they're both equal because x is a value and they have the same value. And another way I could do it again is I could say that angle ABC equals angle DEF. Okay, so there's three different ways of saying that angles are equal. And notice I've gone ABC, I've gone DEF. So I've gone around the angles in the right way. I could have gone backwards. So I could have done CBA and FED, but I didn't want to. Okay. So here's some other things that you, I think, know, but just in case you don't. What's an acute angle? Well, an acute angle is one that's between 0 and 90 degrees. Okay. So angle size between 0 and 90. It can't equal 0 because that's not an angle really, and it can't equal 90 because that's got its own special name, that's a right angle. Obtuse is the next one. Okay, and that's angle size between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. Again, it can't equal either of them, it must be between them. I'm going to skip reflex just for a moment so I can do straight, because here's a straight angle. So you've got a straight line, you've got a point where you're measuring the angle, and it's that. It's the angle on a straight line. and it's an angle equal to exactly 180 degrees on a straight line, and we call it a straight angle. Okay, I might switch to a different color for a moment. A reflex angle, I think of it as like the back half of an angle. So it's that one there, if you start with an acute, and if you start with an obtuse, it's that one there. And it's an angle between, oops, 180 degrees and 360 degrees, but not equal to either of those things. And then a revolution is a full spin, like that. And so that's equal to 360 degrees. Okay, so what do you have to do next? So once you've finished taking notes on all of this, I've set a Maths Online task that you must finish. And if you want some more work, you can go to exercise 501 in the textbook for some more practice. Okay, we're going to use the rest of today's lesson time to revise for Monday because we have our test. Thanks, girls. I'll see you in a conference soon. Bye.